Alright, hey travelers, Chris here with another review. Welcome to sunny Malta, an independent country of the European Union south of Italy. You can see we have beautiful weather here. It's December, but it's still warm enough for a t-shirt. And we're here to today check out the Hilton Malta over here. Now, I'm quite excited to see what the hotel is like. I've heard good things, but keep on watching to see if this might be your next home base to explore Malta, or whether you might want to skip this one. So let's go. So as mentioned, Malta is to the south of Italy. You can see it here, and the hotel is actually not too far from the central city of Valletta and surrounded by these nice clear ocean waters and yachts. It is really beautifully located. You do not have a sandy beach as you can see here, but you have multiple pools, you have the ocean right in front of you, and you can see it from most of the rooms, which is truly nice. In regards to the architecture, you can see this slightly Spanish, Italian, Mediterranean influences on the building. Everything is in these sandy colors, including also the other buildings around it, and it has quite a feeling of a fancy casino out of James Bond in a way, with this big entrance for the cars here as well. As we were there around Christmas, you do have still a slight bit of decoration here and there, and then once you enter the lobby, it has a feeling of a grand lobby. In a way, the room opens up further down inside, and you can see with this marble textures, it looks very elegant. As the Hilton sits somewhat off on top of a cliff, you can see that there's some true height differences within the hotel. So the breakfast area down there is a couple levels below the lobby, and you'll have to take a lot of elevators or stairs to accommodate for that. And as I already mentioned, the pools, let's maybe talk about the swimming pools and the outside amenities that you can see here. On the left side or center you have the main pool, on the right side you get the smaller pool, and there's also a tennis court. So definitely you will not be getting bored at this place, at least in summer or during warmer months. Definitely here, being there during December where we have around 18 degrees, you can see that the pool areas were quite deserted. It's not surprising, I think it's just a little bit too cold to use the outside pool. I can definitely see how it's a lot more fun when it's a bit warmer. There's plenty of things to do outside, there's plenty of beach chairs, and even a little bit of a sandy beach that you can see here. So that's quite nice. And as the hotel is right next to the pool, you can easily always hop up to your room. So I think this is especially great if you come here with your family. So let's talk about the rooms. Let's head upwards. In our case, we are on the 8th floor. And let's see what the rooms are like. Alright, here we are in the room. We got upgraded from a standard room to a king executive room with sea view. And of course, the first thing we have to note is that there's this massive glass door with, of course, the sea view. That's why you come here, I guess. And I have to say, it is really beautiful. It's a bit dark outside, so I hope it's still visible. You have a little bit of a balcony, and it's really private, I have to say. It's really beautiful. You see right at the sea, you also see right to the pool, so maybe it gets a bit louder, but I think it's still a stunning view, especially since we're having the sunset now here. Really beautiful. The room itself, you can see, has quite a lot of maritime colors. You have a lot of blue and beige colors. To be honest, I really like it. It's not maybe the most modern design. It reminds me a little bit of more like bit older times, but you have this really massive bed, and I also like how you have a lot of different textures in the room. You have something on the wall here, kind of piece of art. You have behind the bed these kind of patterns and textures. I have to say, I really like it. Of course, you get a big TV, not the newest model, but should do the trick. You have a bit of a work desk. One thing to keep in mind if you are planning to come here and you're not coming from the UK or Australia, all the power plugs are on the UK outlet type, so make sure to bring an adapter. There's no international kind of power outlets here where everything fits. Other than that, you have this really big couch here. Also really just a nice area, and this carpet ties everything in together. So it's just super cozy to lounge in this room. So far, absolutely thumbs up. I like it. One thing we need to check out, of course, is the bathroom. Before we look at that, just a quick overview here. You have some storage, plenty of storage for all of your clothes. The coffee is a lavazza machine, and to be honest, I've not seen those taps before, but I'm sure it works just like any other coffee. Let's first look at the bathroom. Not much to say here. I wish there was a walk-in shower. Unfortunately, it's more of this combination of a bathtub and a shower head. You also don't really have a view with the bathtub here. Some hotels, they open up this wall, but I think it's quite functional. And then of course you have pretty standard the Crabtree and Evelyn shower, shampoo and whatnot in these refillable bottles. I know some of you are not a fan of that. I personally think it's still good for the environment, but I get why not everyone is a fan. One other thing that's quite interesting is that you have a little water tap here, so you can actually let some, if I can figure it out, some drinking water out. So I guess you're not supposed to drink the tap water right out of the sink. So I guess that's good to know. One last thing I want to mention is I'm not sure what comes with the room and what comes with the diamond status. We do have a little bottle of Prosecco here. There are also some snacks. There's of course water. So that's great. Again, not sure if this came with the status. And then you can also see here on the table, there's a little bit of you have sparkling and still water and some more snacks. And then some more local things. So this is some kind of cheese in oil, pickled, and also some local salt. It's actually quite heavy. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's a standard thing or that comes with the status, but I think those are some really nice details. So far so good. The room looks, I think, quite good, besides the shower, but other than that, I love the view. And let's look at the other amenities. Alright, next on the list we go one floor up to the top floor, the 9th floor, for the breakfast. Now, we're coming with a diamond status, and so the breakfast is included. However, we don't get to have the breakfast at the ground floor. Unfortunately, we would have to pay extra. I believe they quoted us $15 or euros. So whether that's worth it to you or not, you'll have to see. But you can see the selection here, and the lounge is also quite decent, albeit of course a lot smaller. I have to say that especially for me who likes pastries and cornflakes and granola, it covers it quite nicely. I think the pastries were really good. It feels a bit, of course, standard. You have your croissants, pain au chocolat, and the usual things basically. Don't expect anything crazy from the lounge breakfast, at least. Of course, you do have some hot dishes as well. That's important. And some fresh fruits. So it's basically I would say a basic continental breakfast. So if that's good with you, then I think you will do just fine here. What you don't get, for example, is a manned egg station where you can have a fresh omelette. There are some hot dishes here, as you can see, your usual sausages, your bacon, your hash browns. It's fine. Again, I am not the target audience here, I think, but quality-wise, I would say it's also just fine. The yogurt tasted a little bit odd, and some of the things like the fruits or the hot dishes were a little bit mushy, like they were standing around in the breakfast for too long. But what I think makes up this breakfast is that you just get a really nice view again towards the sea. I'll show that in a bit. Coffee is self-serve, although you can also order it, but if you order it, they will also just get it from this one coffee machine, and that will create some issues later as well. But first up, let's just have a look at this. I think it's quite nice, and again, you always have the seaside in view, which is just beautiful. I love it. I love how bright it looks, and it just gives you this vacation feeling. You can also, as you just saw, sit outside. There's quite a couple of seats. It was a bit fresh in December, but I reckon that for most of the year you can comfortably sit outside and enjoy the view over the pool and the seaside. Absolutely fantastic. Now, one thing I have to mention about the lounge breakfast service is that they were really struggling on keeping up with providing, let's say, for example, the cutlery, which is this blank board here. They constantly ran out every couple of minutes. They ran out of glasses every couple of minutes. And even though there were quite a lot of staff on site, they really struggled. You can also see that they're constantly, because there's only one coffee machine in the morning, there is always a queue of a couple of people. So ultimately, I think this could be improved. But if you're not deterred by that, then overall the breakfast, I would say, is quite solid. As there is a lounge, you also get a happy hour and tea time service. Here the tea time is in the early afternoon, and you can see already that you have cakes, you have sandwiches. Of course, you have your coffee machine, this time with no queue, fortunately, and you also get some non-alcoholic drinks, as well as a big selection of different teas. And I quite like it. It's nothing that I would go out of my way to come to the lounge for, but if you're hanging around the pool, for example, anyways, it's so nice to just quickly hop up there and have some sandwiches, have a slice of cake. It is really nice. Also, they do change their offering every day, so it was different cakes and different sandwiches every day while we were there, which is fun, so you can explore a bit of what they have to offer. One thing I want to mention is that the lounge is fairly big and beautifully designed, in my opinion. It's fairly modern, the lighting is nice, you have quite modern furniture, the chairs and couches, and it looks more like a comfy living room than a restaurant or so. So this is, in my opinion, what a lounge should be like. And you can see here also the outside area. You're just on your throne over the entire hotel, overlooking the pools. I quite like the view that you get from the lounge. Just so fun to observe. You can also see, just a side note, just how empty the pool was in December. So this is around 2 p.m. or so, and there's no one because it's just too cold. But that's just as a side note. Now, of course, where there's a tea time, there's also a happy hour. So in the evening, we went back to the lounge. Now in full swing with the Christmas decor, as you can see. I think it's quite cute. And again, with the wooden tones, with these dark blue colors, it just looks very comfy. Now, mind you that in the evening, the lounge gets a lot more busy. I think people make quite good use of the happy hour. And we definitely had to see that we still got a seat from time to time because people were just filling up the lounge quickly. So then let's have a look at the offering that you get here, the happy hour. You can see here already you have a bunch of different white wines and red wines. In regards to foods, I would say it's mostly canapés, as you can see here, some dry snacks, some cheese. You also have some vegetable sticks with a dip and some more cheese. When it comes to the drinks fridge, there's one more item now, the Sisk beer. I hope I pronounced that correctly. A local beer, so that's nice to see. And then you can see here the hot snacks, 2 options that also changed every day. Overall, I would say I'm not sure if this could replace a proper dinner for most people, but it definitely is a generally nice offering for snacking and having some drinks before you head out for your dinner or to your other plans. You can also order some drinks like this Aperol Spritz, and I have to highlight that in the evening at least the staff was a lot more proactive in cleaning the tables and reaching out asking if you would like to have anything, so that's definitely an improvement from the morning. If you would rather like to do something healthy, we will go to the 4th floor where there's the health club you can see here, and oh my god, there's a lot of offerings. Like, I don't think I've ever seen so many options in a hotel. You have, of course, your indoor swimming pool, but you also have a lot of function rooms, you have weight rooms, there are people working out left and right in spin studios, you have multiple squash courts, and you can also see that they have a lot of different options for courses and classes every day. This is very impressive. Besides that, then the indoor pool, you can see it here, definitely very popular in December because at least it's very warm in there. It is also very blue the way they lit it up. It looks kind of interesting, I think, with these columns or pillars in the water, and overall I quite like the option, although I have to say that it was very, very crowded, and because it's indoor it also gets very loud with all the reverb, with all the noises reflected from the ceilings. Unfortunately also there were not a lot of staff on site that actually cleaned the beach chairs, so we actually didn't have a single empty beach chair for us, and we were not sure if some of them were empty or not and people just left. It's always hard to determine. Anyways, you also see here there are two more saunas. One is more like a steam sauna, one is more the traditional dry sauna. There's also a cold bath, so you really have all the options to enjoy yourself and regenerate. So then, while we watch the beautiful drone shots over Malta, let me make my conclusion. I think price-wise the hotel is quite okay at around $220 per night. This is quite in line with some of the other offerings on Malta, and mind you, you can come almost all year round and find sunshine and at least a lot better temperatures than in continental Europe. The location is also quite good because you can see here this is Valletta, the old town. It only takes you around 10 to 15 minutes by taxi to quickly hop over, and the taxi sets you back around 10 euros or so. The hotel itself is fairly modern, the breakfast is solid, the rooms are solid. It's really nothing, I would say, that's completely crazy amazing, but if you are very big on the sports offerings, on the wellness offerings, then I think this hotel is really right for you. And I can also see how it's really interesting to come with your family if you have kids, because they have so many options there. It seems quite family friendly. We saw a lot of families on site, and you have the ocean also right in front of you. Although, as I mentioned, there's no beach in that sense, but it's really lovely to walk around in there as well. So overall, if I came back to Malta, I think I would give the Hilton Malta definitely another visit, especially because it's the only Hilton property on Malta and I enjoy coming with a high status. There are some other chain hotels from other chains, so you might want to consider those, but overall I'm quite happy with this property. For the record, in terms of drawbacks, there was a little bit of a wear and tear in the rooms, but I have to say that it was not really something I noticed, and so I don't really consider it as a really bad thing. More significant was the not the lack of service, but the service levels on the lounge I think need to be improved. It was incredibly slow. They ran out of all the food, all the cutlery, all the glasses all the time, and you see the queues at the coffee machine all the time. So there's definitely some room for improvement there, but at least the staff was very friendly, very charming, and I think that really helped overcome some of these issues. So that's it from my side, guys. If you've been to the Hilton Malta, please let me know how you liked it. It's always interesting to hear some other perspective. Of course, I usually don't travel with kids, for example, right now, so maybe your experience was very different, maybe you value other things, so just let me know in the comments below. That's it from my side, guys, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!